On today's really useful guide, learning can be fun. We show you how. And some tips on spelling tricky words, like words with silent letters. And join the digital music revolution. Have you wanted to try out things like MP3 downloads and iPods? We'll get you started.
When we think of learning, we sometimes picture being tied to a desk or of dreaded exams. We don't often associate the word fun with study, but there's no reason why you can't find a way to enjoy learning. Think about how, when you were very young, we approached learning without fear and with a sense of excitement about finding out something new about the world around us. Making learning fun is all about approach, trying to stay open-minded and not being afraid of the unknown. Over the last number of episodes, we've heard lots of our guests talk about how learning can be fun by trying things out, taking a risk or two, and visiting new places and people. Here's an example.
We can make learning fun by making it interesting and relevant to our own lives. Here in Limerick, Liz Dunn found out how to take the learning out of the classroom and into the real world.
I couldn't spell or write properly. So when I heard return to education, I said, I'll try it out and see what happens. I've done it last September, 12 months. This is my second year on the programme now, and I really enjoyed it.
So what is the Return to Education programme? Gabrielle Tarpey, course tutor, explains to us.
Well, the Return to Education programme is a FÁS-funded programme that's run by the Literacy Service, which is part of the City of Limerick VC, and it's open to people who are on community employment schemes or jobs initiative. For most people who come forward to do a return to education, they want to improve their reading, their writing, their spelling, improve their maths. A lot of people want to learn to use a computer because they're so much part of our lives now. It will go out to the internet and find the site that you want.
To make learning fun, the internet is used to find out interesting facts about their local area.
Students can also look at places of local interest, like students can look up the website for maybe the Hunt Museum, or we might go on a day trip. Students can look this up on the website, and they find it very interesting to be able to look up the site and see what's there for themselves before they actually go. So girls, looking at that website for the Hunt Museum, did you think it was good?
Yeah.
Okay, so the actual address of it, reading it there from the beginning, is
www.huntmuseum.com.
Okay, so that's the website address of it.
Yeah.
What did you find out from the website?
There's exhibitions there. It's owned by a family.
It is often a good idea to get out of the classroom and visit the places you learnt about in class.
But online this morning I found out an awful lot about it. I found out John and Gertrude Hunt owned it, and there was a lot of bits and pieces in it from collection. So there's an awful lot to see here.
Oh, it's only a replica. Oh, it's only a replica.
If you saw things like that, you'd home, you'd throw them out. Until you come down here, like a place like this, that you'd really see what was here and what valued things are.
There's a picture of the hens.
So what other learning activities are the students involved in?
A lot of the students now would have joined the library and used the library and read books more now where they may not have done.
Well, I've never visited a library until last year. It was Mary Scanlon, our English school teacher at the time, decided to join us up at the library. It's brilliant. You just go in and you can browse away at the books, and you can go on the computer if you want to when you're not at school. And you learn loads of different things in the library. But now I love reading. I love reading the novels. I love reading Goodnight, Mr. Tom, The Field, and the things I wouldn't have dreamt of doing 2 years ago.
With a bit of confidence, even the dreaded word homework can be a fun activity.
REMARKABLE.
Demand.
DEMAND.
Even now I sit do my homework with a child, it's completely different. Before I wouldn't have had the patience to sit down with her. But my small one loves the idea of me doing her homework with her, and loves sitting down writing and reading with me.
Okay, number 5 there. Never use full stops to separate the different parts of a website address.
False.
Games and quizzes are also another way of making learning fun.
Do you think it helps doing the quiz?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good, because it's great to get on the
Bit fun as
website
well,
there.
wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
something different.
So, if you're thinking about doing a return to education and fear is stopping you, There is help out there. You'd find that if you come on the return to education, you'd get a great increase in confidence and your educational standard would improve.
This is my second year on the programme now, and I really enjoyed it. I learned an awful lot from it. Gave me an awful lot of confidence and made me a different girl, I think, myself.
Well, joining us today are Liz O'Donoghue from Limerick, who returned to learning just a year ago and has come a long way since. And we're also joined by folk singer-songwriter Christy Hennessy, who'll be known to most of you. Liz, just talking about learning there, how important is it to get out and experience new things, do you think?
It was very important.
Yeah.
Very important, because I left school when I was 13. I could read, I could write, but I wasn't great. My father got very ill, so I had to leave school to look after him. So I decided
you felt you missed out.
I've missed out on an awful lot.
Yeah.
So I decided to go on a CE programme in Limerick, in Southall House. And the return to ed was starting in September. I had already started in October, the CE scheme. So Gabrielle, our tutor, came up and introduced herself and just said, would you like to try it? And I said, well, I've nothing to lose at this stage, I might as well go ahead.
Yeah.
So I done my junior cert last year.
Yeah.
And I got
How
a
did
B
you
in
find
it.
doing that?
Brilliant.
Was that a great confidence boost?
Brilliant confidence, brilliant. I can write letters now to schools, which I never could do.
And has it opened up lots of avenues?
An awful lot. I go into the Hunting Museum in Limerick, where I would never even dreamt was there.
It's a brilliant place, isn't
It's
it?
gorgeous, yeah.
And would you have found something like that, a place like that, a bit daunting or intimidating before?
I would have done, yeah. Yeah, I would have been very nervous having to go in there.
Yeah.
Now I go into the library, sit down and read a book, turn on a computer, and work away.
How important is fun when you're learning?
Oh, it's great. It's very important. Now, mind you, have to put in your time.
Yeah, there's a bit of work.
There's a bit of work
involved.
as well, but you will laugh and joke as you go along.
And do you think you remember things better if they're
Now I
enjoyable?
do, yeah.
Yeah. How come you've come so far in just 1 year? Since you went back to adult
It's just
learning?
that I sat down and said to myself, I'm either going to make it now or break it. So I just walked away.
Are you kind of a determined person? do you
Very,
think?
very.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that would help.
love it. I love going to school.
Do you have any Christy Hennessy records?
No.
Don't you?
I have a very personal, very, very personal friend of mine
Yeah.
who eats, sleeps and drinks him.
Well, you tell your friend now.
I phoned her last night and told her.
that
She
you
said,
have the
"What?"
real thing sitting beside you on
She
the
won't
sofa.
believe it if she sees it.
Of course, Christy, it's well known that you had a few reading and writing difficulties in the past. And is that difficult when you're a musician?
It is, yeah. It's you've got to overcome it, because you either make it or break it. So if you're going to be a musician, then you just have to get on with it. And strangely enough, you kind of, what you lack in one thing, you probably make up for another thing, you know.
Right.
So,
Do you think you'd probably have a better memory, for example, than a lot of people because you have to remember more?
oh, definitely. Because when I left school at 11 and a half.
Yeah.
And I didn't start till I was 6 and a half. So, and I got a job, I had a year off like you do, and then I got a job as a messenger boy up in North Adides in Tralee.
Hence the song.
Hence
I'm
the
a
song,
messenger boy.
Messenger Boy.
It was autobiographical.
That's right, but I was given like maybe 14 parcels to deliver, and all she'd say, Mrs. McCord, number 9, Brenda's Park, Mrs. McCormack, and I had to remember those.
How would you know which house to go to then if you're a messenger boy and you
I mean,
can't
I knew most of the houses where Brenda's Park was,
Okay.
where the Rock was, so I'd know that. So I'd know, and I'd get number 9, and so then I'd have to keep this in my head, because Nora wanted you back in a half an hour, no matter how many parcels you had. So you had to go like the clappers, and I had to remember. And strangely enough, I hardly ever made a mistake, thank God.
Right.
It's
So you were
amazing,
very
isn't it?
fit and it gave
And
you
I
a
was
great
very
memory.
clever, yes.
In things like songwriting, though, is it difficult? How are you going to remember the lyrics once you get a great one? The rest of us might, scribble something down, or how do you operate that way?
To write a song, first of all, I would get about 10 blank tapes, then put one in, get a guitar and sing, and I'd sing for hours and hours, and it would be total rubbish. And then I'd listen to them all back, and it'd be like a little jigsaw. I'd have to make up the little bits and pieces.
Brilliant.
Now, once I've got a song put together, which is like a story in 3 minutes, really, and put them all together, and then I'd have to learn the words.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it sounds easy, but it takes about 2 months to write a song.
But you'd have an advantage over a lot of musicians then who might be worried about forgetting their lines on stage, because you wouldn't, because your memory's better.
No, strangely enough, I mean, thank God I don't forget lines that often, but if I did, I work fairly quick, so therefore I'd miss a verse and I'd either go back or leave it. So,
Yeah.
and most people wouldn't know anyway. So,
Liz, Christy knew what career he wanted from an early day, but you did as well, didn't you?
All my life wanted to be special needs childcare.
Yeah.
Because I have a handicapped sister myself.
Right.
So I have her every weekend.
Yeah. So you're doing it already?
So I'm doing it, I'm looking after her at the moment. But I'm into my second module on it.
And what stage is that now? You started a basic childcare course, is that?
Yeah, I'm on the second childcare course now and I'm going to college in September, CCL in Limerick.
Brilliant.
Hoping to get the childcare cert.
And how long is that going to take, do you think?
12 months, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then will you be looking for work?
Then once I have a cert, I will get work, yeah.
Is that something that a year ago you wouldn't have thought you'd be at that stage?
No. Asked me last 18 months ago to read a book and I wouldn't read it for you.
Yeah, and now you'll be going to college.
I'm going to college. Yeah.
Do you ever listen to music on the internet?
On the iPod, yeah.
Yeah. Do you? You have
Yeah.
an iPod?
I have an iPod, yeah.
What about you, Christy? Do you keep up with the technology of the music industry?
Yeah, I have an iPod, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And do you have a huge range of music on that?
Yeah, from Otis Redding, Al Jolson, right up to today. So the whole lot.
Brilliant. Well, if you've been baffled by new buzzwords like iPods and MP3s, or if you're not sure if a gigabyte is the name of a band or something to do with computers, here's something to get you started in the world of digital music.